Welcome to Career Tipper Podcast, hosted by Michelle Beatty. The Career Tipper Podcast is a motivational resource that shares career and entrepreneurial tips by industry experts that will help amazing people evolve to their professional best. And now your host, Michelle Beatty.
Welcome to the Career Tipper Podcast. Episode 3 features Childcare Consultant Rynette Upson-Bush. Rynette is a certified educator. She has worked for the public school system and as an adjunct professor in higher education for years. In 2013, Rynette took a leap of faith and left her secure career as an administrator to pursue her dream of becoming an entrepreneur. She opened a preschool and academy of learning with her sister. Within a year of opening, the school grew to be $1 million business and an accredited international learning institution with a stellar parent-approved reputation. I'm your host, Michelle Beatty, career confidence author and coach. Rynette, welcome to the Career Tipper Podcast.
Hi, thank you, Michelle. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited and elated to be here with you.
It is my honor, and I know this is going to be a great interview. I know that the listeners are going to get some great wisdom nuggets from you. So thank you for sharing your journey. So speaking of sharing your journey, tell us how you got started, got connected to the path of becoming a child care provider.
As you just said, I was in the school system as a teacher and administrator, adjunct professor. And as I was working for people, I always knew that I was supposed to do something different. My sister was on the same page as well. She followed us. We both were on the same path, teacher, administrator, and we also worked as adjunct professors. So we talked about having a business. We kept talking about opening a group home, knowing that our father had multiple sclerosis. We wanted to make sure that, we had a nice place for people that may have those type of issues to go to. And so that was our passion, to open up a group home. And at the time we decided we were going to do that, a lot of the laws were changing. It was becoming more and more difficult, but we were really going to pursue it. And then my mother was like, why don't you all do something What about education? And then it was like, oh, yeah, light came on. And from there, we were so excited, and we decided to actually do a school. So that's how the school was birthed.
That's awesome. And I think it's great that you're doing this with your sister. Not everyone can work with family.
Yes, and we've been blessed, and one of the ways that we do that is, you just have to stay in your own lane. And so because we have specific jobs and we are very particular and meticulous about staying in our own lane, when, people come and say, hey, I need to know something about my paycheck, my sister tells them quick, fast, and in a hurry, oh, no, you have to speak to Rynette. They come and ask me something about the curriculum and what's going up, you have to speak to Kim. And that's how we've been able to really just move forth without a lot of bickering and arguing, because who's responsible for what. It's no blaming, it's no whatever, because we do have lanes.
Lanes are good.
They are.
The lanes are so good. Now you've been running your child care business for a couple of years now, since 2013. What is some primary business advice you wish you had received prior to establishing your child care business?
One of the things, if somebody's looking to establish a child care business, the first thing I would tell you is to you need to find a building. That's one of the toughest things when you're trying to start a child care facility, unless you're planning on doing something from your home. But finding a building, even in talking to other providers, even in working with people and consulting, finding a building has been the hardest thing for many people that are opening, a child care facility. I know in April 2012 was when I started looking for a building. And I actually left the school system in September 2012. I hadn't found a building, and my sister and I talked about it, and we decided that this has to be a full-time thing, pursuing this building, because if not, then are we going to get one? So, because I would ride around on the weekends, use all my weekends, and, a lot of businesses or people that own those buildings, you're not able to get in contact with them during the weekends. And then when you're trying to do it after work, it was a lot. So I had to leave in 2012, September, to actually pursue it full time. I found something in October, so excited, got the engineer, got the architect, got everybody on board. We started, working, filled out the app and everything looked good. And then through starting, we got a call that they were not happy about where we were located. It was in a plaza, and they felt like it was dangerous for kids. Because it was a plaza and it was a Kmart and then some other stuff, but it was already a Montessori in there. But anyways, we ended up having to go before a board. The board denied us. And that was kind of devastating because we had spent all of this money, and I was like, God, this is a faith walk. I'm supposed to have this building. But it didn't work out. But, I was like, okay, God, I know you got something different. I would say about 2 weeks later or so, found another building, so excited. Seemed like the perfect building, signed the lease. The man said he would give us the keys. We signed on a Friday. We were going to get the keys the next week and didn't hear from him. So I called him and he was like, we got a little problem here. He said our anchor store, H.H. Gregg, does not want a school in the plaza, but I'm going to work with them. So we went back and forth for about a month or whatever, and I had to end up threatening to get lawyers, that kind of stuff. And so that fell through. Went to the next building. And the day we would have signed the lease, got a phone call and said they sold the building, and it would be another year before we could possibly even look at renting that space. So from there, 3 more buildings fell through. A total of 6 buildings fell through. And it wasn't until the 7th building that we actually got the building. 7, the number of completion. And I tell you, when we got it, it was the right size, the right price, the right location. And the owner of the building, he was awesome. He did so much. He got our fence. He said, I want you all to have a parking sign in front of the school with your names on. I was like, nope. Put those parking signs in front of the school for my parents. And he was just really good. So it was a blessing. So, like I said, the number 7 is the number of completion. God was definitely in that. And even though the process was delayed, it was not denied. And I'm telling you, that was what worked. And it was just God that made that happen.
Well, I am so happy for you guys because you do a lot of amazing things at your academy. I've been there. I've seen the cooking classes, all the little art activities, all the team building that you do with your team just to make sure everyone stays on point, just to make sure that they create an environment of learning, for your students. But one thing I'm just curious to know, what has made your facility a trusted place of learning and care for children by parents?
One of the things that we make sure we do, and it's required for you to be in the school system, for you to have any type of child care facility, any type of daycare facility, even if you're working with older people, is you should be doing your background checks. That is a requirement. And even though it's a requirement, you will be amazed at how many people let people slide in, and they'll come in, they'll work for a week, they'll work for months, they'll work for a while and never get their background screenings. We do not hire people that don't have background screenings. You can't even start until you have that background screening. On top of that, to have a child care facility, you have to have, here in the state of Florida, 45 hours. And you can work without those 45 hours. You have like up until a year to get those hours. But the thing about it is, because we want people that know children, that have worked with kids, that have had some experiences, and that have their hours, we don't hire people unless they have their hours. On top of that, we just make sure that we provide a loving and nurturing environment. And one of the good things about me working in Orange County and being in the school system, many of my former students that are now parents, they heard, oh my gosh, Ms. Upson has a child care facility. So we ended up having several of my former students to actually bring their children to the school. So that was also a big help. And we just make sure we care for kids, do what we need to do, and make sure that we constantly stay in communication with parents.
Well, that's a huge compliment to have your students bring their children to you.
I mean, it was like, whoa, this is so serious. Like, I can't believe it. It's amazing. It's an amazing feeling to see, the kids all grown up and, for them to really, have the confidence in us and to bring their kids there. And they're like, oh, I know Miss Upson, because I was of course, being an administrator, and I was one that, I was very serious about discipline. But also, I used to say discipline is a form of love, and you will be loved as long as, you're dealing with me. And same thing with the kids, discipline is a form of love, but they are loved in every way. And so the parents know that, they recognize that, and they see as their kids come out to greet them in the afternoons. A lot of the kids don't even want to go home. They're crying because they don't want to go home. And their parents are like, oh, my God, what is going on? So, and it's so funny how so many of them come and, oh, my God, and they've never been away from me. But then the first day they come back to pick them up, kids are all excited, elated, and don't want to go home.
They've had a great day.
Yeah.
Meeting new friends, learning new things. That's awesome.
Absolutely.
Now, I know that your facility is an internationally accredited. And so I wanted to know, what is your ongoing process of staying current and up to date with, the childcare industry trends and certifications?
Okay, well, basically, being an accredited institution, you are going to stay up with the latest things happening in the child care industry, because when you have that accreditation, that says that you are definitely working with a curriculum that has rigor, that has fidelity, that is going to move kids forward. And you're constantly doing that. You're working to the highest standards there are in childcare. And once you become accredited, your name goes on this list, and people that know anything about education, they're looking up accredited schools. And as we became an accredited institution, we went right to the top in reference to our county. So it's really important. On top of that, because we are, myself and my sister, certified educators, we definitely are big on education. So we hold our own professional development and making sure that the teachers are moving forward. And because we have this child care facility, and it's very important to us to make sure that we stay current with the trends and that we are definitely doing what is best for servicing our kids. We are in our business. We work in our business, but we also work on our business. So we stay current. We are out there. We're still making sure that we're educated and getting educated, and we're bringing it back to the teachers. So not only that, they are not, when we first started, and, we were like, you have to do lesson plans, and you have to do, we don't babysit, we teach. And a lot of people that have preschools, they don't teach, they babysit, or they're teaching ABCs and 1, 2, 3s. And when you're an educator, you understand that there's so much more for children. They're advanced now. They're moving fast. They use phones by the time they're 2 years old, 1 and 2 years old. So you've got to stay on top of stuff, the latest trends, to keep, the teachers current. So that's what we do.
That's excellent. Now tell me, how have you set the expectation to keep your teachers motivated and your teacher assistants motivated to to promote a creative learning environment for the children daily? Because like you said, technology, everything that, is like their way of life now. How do you get creativity infused into that?
Well, the one thing we do, it's not just about myself and my sister. It's about the team and building an A team. And in order to do that, of course, when you allow the teachers to have buy-in and talk about, their thoughts or whatever, and because we are constantly, we have ongoing professional development and things like that, they're excited to look up stuff to get and learn all of these different things, and they're bringing in their own ideas and just, a lot of times we do different word walls and different things, and they have friendly competition, so they're excited and they're just trying to be as creative as they can be, and it's just exciting to see them move forward like they have. When we first started, we're in an area where a lot of the children are from the lower socioeconomic, they're in a lower socioeconomic environment. So with that being said, a lot of the people that come in, they are from the same area. And so we had teachers that didn't even know how to turn on computers. They would write notes and send handwritten notes, and we were like, oh no. One of the things we did, we offered a 3-month computer class for every teacher in there that did not know how to use the computer, how to do different things. So not only we do the professional development, but we're constantly allowing them to give buy-in as well. So that, I think that does a lot for them. To let them know that they're just not there as employees, but they're there as family, as, educators. And we don't allow them we tell them, even with the nursery, the daycare, that terminology is so important. And now, so if somebody says, this is a school, and they're happy to say it. So, and because they're excited about it, they're ready to dive in and be as creative and as energetic as possible when it comes to the learning and moving kids forward.
Let's talk about marketing. What are a few marketing tips that you have found to be profit shifting for your business that you think other childcare providers should keep in mind?
Well, I always tell people, free advertising is always good. So, you definitely have Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. You can do LinkedIn, any one of those social media sites would be great, because that's free advertising, and that did a lot for us. When we first opened, we kept our Facebook page up, put lots of pictures on. I actually, once they got, live and stuff like that, we'll have the live videos, and did a lot with that. One of the best marketing tools is word of mouth. If you're doing what you're supposed to do, the marketing comes right from the parents. They're going to refer their friends. They're going to refer the family members. You know what? This is such an excellent facility. I'm telling you, my baby is learning, and they can do this and they can do that. Awesome. And another thing is, you are your brand. And so how do you look? What are you saying? How are the employees looking when they come in, when parents come in? Do they look a hot mess? Are they uniformed? That really plays an important role in marketing, because if I go into a facility and it's looking a hot mess, it's drab, it smells bad, I don't want my child there. So you are your brand, and everybody that's in there working for you, they're representing you also. That's marketing that people don't think about.
That's true. It has a lot to do with it. Your brand, people wearing your shirts, making sure that they are carrying themselves in a professional manner if they're wearing a company shirt.
Absolutely. Can I tell you that's really important? Like I said, the brand. I was in the store, and one of the ladies that I know, and her school wears uniforms, and I'm telling you, that employee was cursing like a sailor. Ridiculous, in her company shirt. And I had to let her know, hey, I encountered one of your employees and it was not nice. So you are your brand. So when people are out there in your shirts and your uniforms and they're acting like that, and we talk about that in my facility, we don't allow that at all. If you are wearing this shirt, you better make sure you're representing us in a positive manner.
It's important. They're representing not only themselves, but you.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Indeed. Rynette, I know for sure that you have a let's get it done, we're all winning perspective about life and business. How have you had that mindset, having that mindset, how has it helped you accomplish your dreams and goals in being a childcare provider?
Well, I mean, I really get it. Honestly, my mother she's just a real pusher. She's a real go-getter. She has always been a person to take fast action, inspired action. And all of my siblings, that just came from her. So it was just innate to be a go-getter, to keep pushing, and that's one of my things. I always say I have to push on purpose. So I know also that through God nothing is impossible, and he can do anything but fail. So I keep my faith strong, and through God I am just gonna push, gonna keep going. And in a moment where I never feel like I can't, because I know I can, and so I just do it. I gotta keep it moving. And I don't speak negativity. I don't speak that I can't. I don't want to hear that from my employees. I don't want to hear that in my building. So with that being said, it's always a let's go. It's going to happen, and we get it done.
You got to get it done.
Got to.
Well, what are a few things that you suggest children, childcare owners to keep in mind when looking to establish their facility? Like, I know that you shared with me earlier the location. I understand that, but is there anything else that you recommend?
I mean, it just depends on what they're looking for. I mean, that's an individual choice, because like I said, some people might want a home care. And some people might feel like they don't want a huge facility. So, you got to look at the location. You have to look at the size. You have to look at the price of, the building or whatever. You need to look at the demographics. That's really important. A lot of people just think they can go put a business someplace and it's going to work. But I mean, with any business and anything, you should always do your homework and research. It's not going to just happen. You got to do the research and understand what you're getting into. And one thing about it in childcare is very serious, because you holding the lives of our precious kids in your hands. And so you just have to be very cognizant of everything you're doing, every step you make, because they're very serious about the law these days and the different things that are happening. So you got to be ready, and you have to think about every aspect. And one of the things that you should do, I mean, and this is what a lot of people do. I don't know. They go in and they pretend like, oh, I want to, I'm thinking about enrolling my child, and, I have a 2-year-old, I have a baby, I have an 8-year-old. So do you have an aftercare program? Do you have this? Do you have that? What are your prices? Can I see the facility? They're walking around trying to get information. What you really should do is, go to some child care facility. Hey, I'm looking to start a facility, and I just wanted to, view the building, whatever. A lot of people don't like that. A lot of people are not willing to talk to you, but then there are some that are willing to talk to you. Because what you have to realize, if it's for you, it's for you. And God has many, many children on this earth. So it's not like a shortage of children. So I don't know why people are kind of funny about that. Sometimes I guess you have to just do whatever you discern. But I really think that as you go and visit facilities, that really opens your eyes. And if you're going to be a director in a facility, or you're working on your CDA, they usually send you to visit facilities anyway. So you might as well just go ahead and get a jump start.
Nothing like getting started early.
Absolutely.
Rynette, you're a childcare consultant too, right?
I do consult.
Okay, awesome. So what are a few things that you cover during your consultant calls?
What I usually do is I want to hear from the prospective owner. What are they looking for? I need to know before I can answer their questions and really give them the best advice for what they're doing, because childcare is not a one size fit all. And it needs to be, I need to know about what your money is, because a lot of times when I start consulting calls, everybody's coming in, a lot of people come in, and they're thinking it's all these grants and it's all this money, and they're thinking that they're going to be able to get some money from somewhere to help them get started. Well, what you better do is try to get yourself either a loan, get yourself some savings, maybe whatever it is, you need to get some money. So that's one thing. I need to know about your money. Not that I'm trying to be in your business, but obviously it's not free to have a child care facility. It's costly. I need to also find out what type of building, what size, what location, what size facility do you want? What type of curriculum? Because, we have different things, whether you're looking for a small center, maybe you want to do a Montessori, maybe you just want to do a regular school, you want to do a chart. So I ask specific questions to the owners and see where they are. And then from talking to them, I can give them more of individualized or something that fits to them. Because I don't just go in with, a whole bunch of me talking. I do a lot of listening first. And then from what I hear from them, then I go from there.
Okay. That's awesome. So great mapping and strategies and things of that nature, so they can understand the direction of their business and what they need to do to take their business in the direction that they want to go. So that's fabulous.
Right. And we definitely, because a lot of people come and they just, I just want to make money. I want to so sometimes they come with the wrong mindset. And they want to have a business but don't have a business plan. So we have to sometimes back it up and make sure that we start in the right place.
Foundation must be set, must be strong.
Definitely.
I know that you love life. You're a lover of life. You encourage people to live their best life, their next level life. So what are a few things that you like to do and that you enjoy outside of managing a booming business?
I actually love empowering women. I love empowering people altogether. I do a lot of empowerment for my parents. I speak to women during the week, on the weekends. I also love to spend time with family. I love retail therapy, and I love to travel. So that's pretty much what I love doing.
Short and sweet, to the point.
Yeah.
Adventurous is always good.
Yes, definitely.
Well, Rynette, I very much appreciate you being a guest on the Career Tipper podcast. Please share your favorite quote or an affirmation that keeps you creating career tipping moments.
Okay, my thing is I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. No matter what the situation is, no matter what, I always look to that because it just empowers me. It just makes me know that I can do it no matter what. And when I get weak, I know God is strong. So I'm always saying to myself as things happen, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Thank you, Lord. I know I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And I stand on that and I believe that. And I wanted to say thank you so much for having me. It's been so much fun doing the podcast interview. This has been so awesome. I love sharing and just telling people, hey, if this is a dream you have, go for it and don't stop until you get it.
Yes, you got to have that grit to go after your dreams.
Got to. And it's not going to fall in your lap, and I'm not going to say it's easy, but it is worth it.
It is worth it. Now, tell my listeners how they can get in touch with you.
Okay, you can email me at rupson22@gmail.com. rupson22@gmail.com.
Awesome. And you can find me, Michelle Beatty, on Instagram at Career Tipper. Listeners, thank you for joining us today. And if you want to find out more about upcoming guests and receive career tips, visit careertipper.com to sign up for the newsletter.
Thank you for tuning in to this episode of the Career Tipper Podcast. We're grateful for our listeners and guests. For more resources about how to evolve to your professional best, share your comments and feedback about this episode and your suggestions for future guests, visit careertipper.com. Until next time, be confidently you.